right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1
If you're 55 and up,
KFMA.
T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's always value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers. T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power Charge that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more.
What the new name of the Footprint Center is.
With auto pay plus taxes and fees plus $5 per line without auto pay. Debit bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Wireless. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line. For well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
The lease for the naming rights just ended in the middle of NBA season, so they're still going on for the Suns. And if you recall, the Footprint Center, the title of the Footprint Center Arena actually came about after the Suns turned their entire team around and made a deep run to the NBA Finals. Right before that, the arena had no name. Right, there was no corporate sponsors for it at all. They're just like, this team sucks. Then all of a sudden, they're like, this team doesn't suck. Here, take my money. But for whatever reason, the team doesn't suck right now. It's, all right, well, in a perfect world. But, everything is corporate sponsored. Problem is these corporations don't even have the money for it anymore.
What corporation would you want in there? Like Doritos?
No, let's say Pfizer. Let's say Viagra Arena.
Viagra Arena?
Yeah. Our defense, stay hard.
Yeah.
That would be fun. I remember back in the day with the Arizona Stadium or the Cardinal Stadium, which I think is State Farm right now. Big insurance company. But for a minute there was speculation and rumor that it was potentially going to be called the Pink Taco Stadium.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yes, and that's because there was a small taco chain owned by a Nepo baby called the Pink Taco. And it was a hipster joint out in Scottsdale.
Yep, super
right?
Scottsdale.
Yeah, so it was basically gringo tacos, overpriced. In a nice area where there's a bunch of pretty women around, and of course a sexual undertone. So Pink Taco was the name of that company, and they really put in a serious bid to try to have the naming rights for Cardinal Stadium and their brand new stadium. So this is just when they were moving from Tempe to Glendale, and they wanted to seriously be called the Pink Taco Stadium. And look, obviously a lot of people fought back. They're like, hey, look, our team sucks and we know it. But, I mean, don't call us a bunch of vagines. Give us a fighting chance here.
That'd be amazing. Can you imagine it's live on TNT? It's the Phoenix Suns at the Food City Arena versus the Golden State Warriors.
Food City Arena is a possibility,
Now's their time to shine, man.
They're
Step
still
up.
doing good. You know who's not doing good? Restaurants aren't doing good. Hooters announced some more shutting of their locations. In fact, they even had a little wing to go spot called Hoots. Did you know this?
No.
We never got one down in town. It started in Chicago, and they opened up about 30 chains across the U.S., and it was basically like a wing stop. Right? Okay. Because Hooters is like, you guys really love us for our wings, right? Turns out that wasn't the case. And no one was going to Hoots for the wings because they realized once they go there, be like, hey, first off, we can't sit down. And where's the big-breasted waitress who's going to pretend like she likes me? That's the experience.
Mm-hmm.
But even that experience has been kind of going away with the restaurants. We kind of evolved as a society. We're kind of above the restaurant now. We're like, you know what? We're not cretins. We're not all about boobs. We need bun-restaurants now. We need restaurants that showcase the booties. And what's one of your favorite places you like to go to?
Ojos Locos.
Also, Ojos Locos. Yes. And is that thick Latinas?
Oh, yeah.
And so it's places like that have been popping up that eliminated the restaurant because it's all about the bun-restaurant now. And so Hooters, they need to rebrand altogether.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So,
the shifting of America's priorities from breast to booty.
I know.
That's pretty interesting.
Now,
yeah.
the good news is for any like hot women out there, and if you have assets, don't worry. There will be a job for you to serve, overpriced, poor quality food at and get paid thousands of dollars. But if you have big breasts and no ass, I got bad news for you. Those options are drying up. But if you got
pendulum
booty,
swings, man.
Yeah, exactly.
His boots have taught us anything.
Exactly. So just a couple of the business things that are happening around the state and the country. Again, so today we're giving away tickets for the Tucson Roadrunners. This Saturday is Dusty the Roadrunner's 9th birthday. So we're going to be celebrating that in grand fashion, giving out tickets for that before 7 o'clock. We'll start an Instagram live stream. We got a Rap GPT song and, of course, tickets for Disturbed. And on top of all that, in our podcast broadcast today, you may not recognize the name, but I could do like the intro, or I could just introduce the man himself. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podcast broadcast multimedia megastar, Mr. Sean Gatz. Good morning, Sean.
Hello. Good
You like
morning,
that?
everyone.
You get called multimedia megastar often?
That's a new one for me. I like it though.
Well,
Anything but influencer. That's the term I use.
Right.
Yeah, I think we're beyond the influencer aspect because, your content is so entertaining that it is like literally a new school form of celebrity and entertainer, and to put it out there, absolutely. And you kind of have this, you're like a lightning rod for the internet. Like you kind of check all the boxes into what makes like a popular internet personality. First and foremost, your image grabs their attention.
Stands out a little bit.
Like, what the hell? Yeah, like, this guy's got to be homeless, right? I'm sure you heard it all, right? What's some of the funniest burns you've seen come across where they're just like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, most of it's just confusion. I remember back in the day when I was still in restaurants, I had we got a delivery. I was doing inventory, and the guy's like, looks at my ear because I didn't have as many face tattoos, but my whole forehead was blacked out with my right ear, and he was like, "Oh man, you were getting into something, but you're dirty." He was like, "What'd you stick your head in?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, about that." And he's like, "Wait, is that a tattoo?" I'm like, "Yeah." He thought I like stuck my head in a chimney or something.
Like you're a chimney sweep.
Cement mixer.
Yeah.
That's one that I always remember.
Right.
Yeah, I've gotten some trippy ones. Oh, another one at a convenience store. A guy was like, "You look like you wear leather." I was like, "What?" He's like, "You look like you wear leather." I thought he was like trying to tell me I looked like a kinky individual, and he was like, "No, you look like a one of them superheroes. It was vigilantes." I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, man. Can I just get my chips?"
This is all while you just work at a regular job. This is before you start posting that on social media.
Yeah.
And so like when you're just working behind the scenes, and then what made you decide to just like, okay, well, let me backtrack. And again, I'm catching up because of caffeine.
All good.
All right, so you got the look, right, that grabs their attention. Then you're like surprisingly well spoken, where people don't assume that you're going to be well spoken.
Yep.
And the way that you communicate with your audience. And so initially, right off the bat, you're just like, oh, wait, let me hear what this guy has to say. When you started doing your social media feeds, was it immediately going into projects, or how'd you kind of get into this?
I mean, I started during COVID. So my restaurant shut down. I was bored like everybody else. And I was getting more into like the handyman stuff. I went to work for a remodeler. So I was working on this big restoration project. But yeah, originally it was just, troll content, making, because everybody had something to say about my appearance and my tattoos. And I learned early on that I'd go viral just off my looks, because when I first had my forehead tattooed, blacked out, the post went, crazy on the artist's Instagram. So I was like, man, if just my appearance can do this, I wonder how many views I could rake in if I actually put some like personality behind the content. So,
right, and put some work behind it. Yeah.
So I started just doing comedic stuff, just pissing off people on the internet, and then I moved into like more stuff that was actually going on in my life with like the renovations. And then one video that just took off was me doing like tiling a shower pan, and I was like, oh man, there's really something here.
I look at you as like a modern day Bob Vila.
Dude.
You know what I mean? Like this home improvement show, which you didn't have any of that like expertise like growing up. Like when did you start working? You start working young?
Yeah, so I started. I was homeschooled growing up, so I was always like, I remember I think like age 8 or 9, my mom started doing like a dog walking service. So she'd like put flyers out and I'd go and walk the dogs with them. So I'd make a few bucks there. And then I think at like age 13, there was like a property manager or like landscaping service that I went to work at.
Okay. Yeah.
Just under the table. So I started working young. So yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not on the greatest terms with my family, but you know, she definitely got me to start work young and put that work ethic in.
And this is kind of where you kind of learned how to do some of these things, these around the house type of like honeydew stuff.
Yeah, that's where it started, was with that property manager, because he had like a wood shop. He you know, his hobby was carpentry, so I learned like hands-on work really young, but I didn't do it full time until later on, the past few years.
Did you stay living with your family all the way till you were 18, or did you leave early?
Yeah, I think 19 we had a falling out. I went and started living on my own, and then kind of you know, got back on good terms with the extended family, and you know, was in and out. I started my handyman business out in New Jersey, so at that point it was kind of all about saving money and putting money into the business. So I was, you know, definitely helping my grandma around the house, staying there and all that.
Nice. All right. So yeah, there's a little bit of the foundation, which explains why you kind of have like this jack of all trades type of style, where I'm just like, oh, did you Google this? How'd you figure this out? Right.
A lot of it's Google, YouTube tutorials. I've learned from some people, but I definitely take that approach to it. Like a lot of people say that I you know, claim to be this super skilled tradesman, and that actually I'm just a hack job, and I'm fine with that. It's just I'm doing DIY projects. I'm learning as I go, so it's like if I don't do something the right way, that's kind of the fun of it. People get to watch the process.
And I think it makes people confident looking at you do that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this guy can do something, I could do it. And that's I mean, that's the point of DIY. Do it, like learn as you go. If you mess something up, that's fine. Do it right the next time. That's the best way to learn.
Absolutely. You're hearing Sean Gatz right here live on the podcast broadcast. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA, talking about the art of DIY. And you know this man if you're on social media, because he's just probably popped across your feed doing some kind of cool at-home project, whether he's building a compound here in Tucson or starting up his own food truck, Gatz Deli, at the Tanque Verde Swap Meet, which has hours opened up on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Right?
Check Google for exact hours. Thursday lunch, Friday lunch and dinner, Saturday dinner, Sunday.
Yeah, and the one thing that Sean seems like he never does is sleep, because I don't know, like with the amount of content that you're putting onto multiple platforms, and also being like a business owner, a small business owner, who's literally behind the counter making the sandwiches and pulling those hours yourself. What is your average like sleep time a night?
I still make sure I get sleep. If I wasn't getting a good rest, I would not be functional. So. Yeah. No, I make sure I get the time in. But yeah, I keep busy.
Yeah, it's like 16-hour days.
There's always something to be done. Yeah, especially now we're doing a little more traveling, just because Tucson's not exactly a hub for, you know, content and other creators. So when I got to work with somebody else, it usually means hopping on a flight Sunday night and get back Wednesday. So,
which you just had a trip to Austin. We'll talk about that here on the podcast broadcast. More with Sean Gatz. We'll talk about Gatz Deli, some of the delicious food that they offer on the truck, how you could score yourself some, and so much more on this podcast broadcast. You can join us on youtube.com/bfegan, or keep it right here, because we'll be back right after new music from Falling in Reverse. Here's Bad Guy on Rock 102.1. Clear. Yeah, so you got to, like, when you're doing content creating, because I think you can't even say it on the internet. You have to always have, like, the code word, like the OF. Yeah. OF.
Yeah, we
right?
don't have to dive into that at all.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but because you did content in Austin on that, and that was one of those things. That's a side hustle. Yeah. And, okay, when you have, like, over 3 million people on TikTok following you, and, of course, Instagram, same thing, you're in the millions. I know that now the entertainment industry, I was just reading a piece from, who was it? Her name's Hawk. Maya Hawk. All right. Ethan Hawke's daughter. She's in Stranger Things. She's a beautiful actress, right? But recently in an interview, she talked about how, you know, producers are casting now based on actors' Instagram follower count, right? So that's where it is in Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah.
It's saying, okay, well, that's great. You're a great actress. How many people are following you on Instagram? So I know that reality television shows definitely cast based off Instagram follower accounts. How many offers are you getting from either television shows, movies? Are you getting any of that kind of offer work yet?
No, I don't get anything. I think I'm a tough sell for pretty much anything mainstream at this point.
You say at this point, but I
What
see
if, like,
Deal or No Deal Island written all over you.
What is that? Just the home improvement now, like TLC, like the house building and house realtor show networks. One of those. They already have that guy with all the tattoos, that neck tattoo, the skinny guy with the glasses. I see him all the time at the gym, and I'm like, that guy's killing it.
Yeah.
One of those things, but
yeah, it's tricky. I mean, I haven't really put myself too much into the mainstream stuff. I'm sure if I had like an agency or management, they'd get me and stuff. They'd pitch me, but because I'm all like, it's very important that I kind of control my own platform and everything. I think.
I was to say the freedom, you can't trade that.
Yeah, it's like I've gotten. We did a little cameo extra thing here in I think where was it, Bisbee or one of those old western towns. It was like an independent horror film production that should come out this fall, I think. But
Do you know the name of it?
I had the name of it.
So
I forgot,
you and your fiance did a cameo. Did you guys get killed?
Nice.
No, I wish we did. But it was cool. Another guy across the table from me had his brains blown out, so I got to sit there while they set up the whole they did all practical effects.
That's dope.
Yeah. Did you did you get sprayed?
Not too much. It was mostly behind me, but I got to watch the whole process.
Nice.
But I think we did sign an NDA on that, so I don't want to.
Oh, you just messed up. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Sean Gatz breaking all the rules this morning.
That's all right. That's all right. That's fine. I don't think I'm supposed to say the name of that film. But
yeah, that's fine. Don't say the name. But yeah, so we're talking about opportunities. Of course, Sean being Instagram, actually TikTok was the initial platform that took off, and then turning that into a full-time career. But on top of that, saying, that's not even enough. I want to earn like an honest living as well. I mean, you have this weird, it's kind of like a weird desire, right? You're like, this seems like it's too easy. I want to make it harder, right?
Yeah.
I want to challenge myself. So now I had restaurant business, and of course we're a foodie town. So you just kind of like lucked into that aspect of it because you came out to Tucson for the cheap land to build your compound. And I was following along for like a good year, seeing how that's being built. But yeah, you still have this passion. You want to like serve food and create, right?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, so I was kind of wrapping my head around like where I could expand to, like what's the next project, because what I was running into with the project, right, is it costs money to build. I was kind of spreading myself thin. I'm like, if I keep going at this full speed, I'm gonna burn through every dollar I've ever made, and I kind of got to that point. So I was like, all right, what's another project that maybe I could see some returns on down the road and put my time in doing something else? So yeah, I thought of the food truck. That was a passion of mine, probably like mid-20s. I'm 32 now, almost 33. So I was like, yeah, let me bring that into the mix. And a lot of people were like, what is going on with this dude? I don't want to buy food from this dirty, crazy dude out in the desert. But for me, it made sense because I've got the restaurant experience. I think I spent 8 years in total. So for starting a business, that made the most sense. And I couldn't find a good deli out here. I've found a couple since, but yeah, like East Coast style sandwiches, traditional Northeast delis. They just, not too much to be had out here. So I was like, yeah, let me do my own thing with it.
Yeah, I'm somewhat of a sandwich snob myself. I always talk about that. So I went down to try you out first before I pitched you, because if I'm gonna plug the food truck, I gotta prove it. Yeah.
I gotta listen to this guy talk about sandwiches every week. He knows his sandwiches.
Yeah. So use boar's head meat as quality for sure, and fresh bread and all that. So I went with the Italian to start off with, and then what instantly caught my eye, which completely just pinpointed your location and where you're from in this country, is you had Taylor ham and egg sandwich on there, and which for people on the East Coast they call it pork roll on South Jersey, and in North Jersey, Taylor ham, which you act all bougie with it. I mean, how fancy can you make?
I don't care. I will say some people in New Jersey will get real pressed about what you call it. I don't care.
Yeah. I call it delicious, and honestly, the pork roll and egg with American cheese on a Kaiser roll. Like if you haven't had a sandwich like that, it just hits. It hits different, and none of my Arizona friends really even know about it. I was even telling you, I was talking with Chef Gary, describing him, the flavor profile.
It's tough to describe.
It is. How would you describe it?
That's funny.
I mean, the closest I can get is it's like thinly sliced, crispy Spam, but a little better. I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and fried bologna, but better.
Yeah.
And then I even got the question, what's it made out of? I'm like, oh, you want to know that. You know?
Pork's the fun part.
That's like it's asking what a hot dog is made out of.
Boil it in a canvas sack. It can't be anything too healthy in there. But.
Yeah. So how is the compound coming along? And if you were to guesstimate, if you wanted to throw out a number, how much you think you've invested in building this up? Because you bought it as a plot of dirt.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, now you're going Mr. Miyagi on it. And the overall goal is what for this plot of land?
Yeah, so I mean, when I first got out there, I was joking around. I was doing a lot of live streaming. This would have been 2 years exactly now up in Phoenix. And then, so with my viewers, I was just joking. I was like, I should do some like pseudo survival series, just like buy a raw piece of land and see what I can do. And then I ended up doing it, and views were pouring in. I was like, well, now I got to think like what the long-term goal for this is, because you know, I can't just build shacks out here and you know.
Yeah, which is south of Tucson, right?
So it's kind of west. It's 3 points.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's out that way. So yeah, I got a cheap plot of land, a little over an acre for $11K, and then yeah, I've been doing a lot of DIY projects on there. You know, put up the fence, the outdoor shower and bath. I got like kind of a converted storage container, chicken coop, a pond that I hand dug and hand placed rocks. But yeah, but the long-term goal with it is to actually put up houses. So I got 3 houses going up out there. So I got all my architectural plans, all my building permits are in. We got the water, electric. We got 3 septic systems, 3 house foundations poured. So I still got to get the framing done, but that's going to take a nice chunk of money.
Yeah, and in all this, you basically did yourself, or did you contract?
Yeah, so I've used some great contractors
for electricity, things like that.
Yeah,
that's good.
everything.
You didn't just learn it on YouTube and be like, "Come on, jump in the jacuzzi, guys! I just wired it. It's fine."
Don't touch that one.
Yeah, so I split up everything. I split up the DIY projects from the actual like permitted buildings. So yes, you know, licensed electrician. We got licensed plumbers who did that work. All my hardscaping, my dirt work, my septic was done by JD Cherry here. So yeah, so I make sure I use, you know, the proper people for things that, you know, need to be done right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Code.
I'll tell you what, we're gonna go to the podcast broadcast, watch some of these videos here, and see the progress of Sean building this up. Of course, that's Sean_Gatz, and you spell Gatz Gatz. If you're not already following him, we'll have more with Sean after music from Avenged Sevenfold, Rock 102.1 KFMA. You could join us YouTube.com/BeFegan. Clear. Okay. Yeah. Let's look at some of this stuff here, because we have. I mean, you've been documenting this every step of the way, and I remember seeing. So you got put on our radar, and my radar specifically, maybe about 2 years ago. And my buddy Todd, who's on the stream, was like, "Hey, this dude's in Arizona. Check him out." And so I started following you and watching along. And I remember this plot of land with just like one fence, I think, at one point. You know, like I'm like, "What are you gonna do? Throw a rave out there?" It's a good rave spot.
I did throw an event, not a proper rave, but we had 8 bands turn up, 10 bands.
Oh damn!
Yeah, you did. So you did throw a little festival.
I threw a party a couple of years ago.
Yeah, nice. How many people showed up for that?
I think like 250 in total. So it was hot. It was like 115 degrees.
Oh,
like
you did it in the summertime.
Oh yeah, midsummer.
You're a lunatic.
So people only really stuck around for a few hours, most of them. A couple troopers made it the whole 8-10 hours, but
Gatz Fest.
A lot of people in and out.
Hell yeah.
It was cool. It was a lot of work for me, but I think turnout was enough where it wasn't total madness.
Did you charge like a ticket for this?
I charged. Yeah, I think I had online tickets for like $20 just to help me with the security, because that was the big thing. Being on social media, I was like, I need to have like serious security out here.
Yeah.
God forbid something happens. That's my whole
the liability.
Everything I built would be
for real
gone if something happened. So yeah, that was a good expense. But
yep. All right, let's go. We're going way back here. There's so many videos. And what is your?
There you go. So if you want to see when I first bought the land, that's right above you. That was some crazy scarification I tried on my forehead.
The crosses.
So that's
this one. This is the
first
video.
All
right, let's check this out.
That is, I think, like 2 days before I closed on the land. What day is that?
Magnificent. Hot
You look like some kind of hippie here with the long hair, dude.
I had some long hair. I was in better shape back then.
Technically, I'm buying 1.2 acres of property in Arizona. But I don't get why you guys are trying to tell me my acre is small. It's not small. It's big.
Yeah. Keeping up with all the projects that I've started. That's
right.
Good,
did you throw out a guesstimation of the cost, or you want to keep that?
Yeah, I can throw it out there. So I've kept track of all my receipts on my Discord, just for people who are looking to do something similar.
Yeah, you've been great as far as your transparency and what you're earning and all that. I watched that video. So yeah, how much have you?
Yeah, I think we're about 200,000 into all the contractor fees, and then the DIY projects are on top of that. Could I have done it cheaper? Probably, but I was trying to hustle and like keep the content coming. So and then if I had, if I met with a nice contractor, I wasn't gonna nickel and dime them. So I had money coming in at the time. I was like, let's treat my contractors right. And but yes, rough was like 200K, and that's with the county got me big time on impact fees. I think between like permitting and fees, it was like 25,000 plus the architectural plans. That was another 15. So that's all in the cost as well. But yeah, because I'm building 3 houses, they got me for 3 separate impact fees.
Oh no.
I think we're 7K a piece. So I was like, damn.
Yeah, you couldn't be like, this is just one. Just so you know, it's little gaps.
Nacho rules. Yeah.
But we did a good job squeezing in as much as we could on the property because it's zoned for, two separate family or 2 houses, but we were able to sneak kind of a third one on there because one is zoned as a duplex.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 duplex, 1 single family. So I'm making use of the space.
Yeah, and so is the goal to rent them out eventually, to sell the property, or to Airbnb it?
I want to kind of run the property not for profit. So what I would love to do, and another big reason why I started the food truck, is I would love to offer employees, the chance to live out there because going back to what we were talking about, like growing up, that property manager, like he was provided a house and, he was living good.
Yeah.
Taking care of the property. So it's like if I'm trying to build a small business here in Tucson, it's like if I can offer my employees like a place to live, like great, especially in today's economy.
Yeah, you're gonna get people lying around the block, dude, because with the cost of housing and living is only looking like it's gonna get worse and continue to get more and more expensive. Yeah. So yeah, that is. I mean, hell, every major business might have to start getting that model. But that's.
Yeah, I would love to see more businesses really taking care of their employees' expenses outside of work because paychecks just aren't cutting it.
Right.
I didn't grow on social media that long ago. Like I've worked hard for many years and scraping by. So I know the economy is just getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm like,
things have to slowly transform if it's going to be anything close to sustainable.
Yeah,
I'm going to start making moves.
I'm one of the very fortunate ones that have been able to kind of find success. Thanks to this internet culture, but a lot of people are getting hurt because of this stuff. I mean,
the internet culture is hurting them.
Well, I mean, scroll your Instagram feed and see some of the individuals making money right now off their. It's kind of brain rot, just trash,
right?
And then you end up scrolling. It's getting pushed out there, and then you're seeing these people who are living so good thanks to a lifestyle that's just.
Not sustainable.
Terrible. Like frivolous spending, and you see all these Instagram influencers. I mean, this has been going on for a while, but flexing their car collections and stuff, and then it affects the whole country's mentality because it's like, why am I going to work all day when this
some kid trading like a shit coin just made like $15 million, and I'm busting my ass for 20 years. All those memes.
I think internet culture is horrible for.
But I was telling Dave, I think that's the one thing we admire about yours is because you're watching. There's practical information. It's entertaining. You're a good guy. There's such good, valuable stuff coming from there. But then you look at brain rot, and you're like, well, why are they making money?
Depending on who you ask. But I definitely try to put in.
You are. There's work ethic, beyond a doubt.
Yeah, no, speaking of society, where we're at was cost of living, greed, everything else. Did you see Bill Burr trending last week?
Oh, yeah.
And his rant?
See that.
Yes. Did you hear that?
Which rant? Every Monday there's a new one. Which one is that?
This is the billionaires are rabid dogs need to be put down.
Oh,
rant.
yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like Billy
the
Boy.
people that are struggling out there because of these billionaires.
Old words.
And they got us all
I wouldn't be
arguing
surprised if
liberal
someone
and
comes knocking on his
conservative.
door with the government after that
They
statement.
absolutely did.
His agent's going, no, it was AI. Tell him it was AI.
Yeah, no, they absolutely did because just at the end of saying, you know, the visceral put him down like rabid dogs, which you're just like he tapped into a lot of people's feelings on this because you're seeing like that top at like not even 1%, 0.01% get all the money, and then you know you got everyone else going here. But you're very transparent in the way that these social media platforms pay out. And TikTok, according to the video that you put out, TikTok was paying the most, right? YouTube, a close second. Then Meta, garbage. They're not paying anything on that. Now with TikTok going down for a couple days and you being like, son of a bitch, were you concerned that this is a major revenue stream? And it's still kind of up in the air. What's your concern on you know, the future of TikTok and their policies and paying their content creators?
Yeah, I mean, I've had my gripes with, you know, TikTok along with every other platform. There's some good parts, there's some bad parts about each different social media platform. But yeah, I mean, I stayed prepared. I mean, I remember back in March of last year, Congress voted on the bill to ban TikTok. So once that went through, I was like, oh yeah, you know, Biden's definitely signing this into law. So that's when I started really making the transition to YouTube and pushing harder on Instagram and Facebook. But I know we spoke briefly about it before we were on air, but my issues with the copyright theft over on Meta's platforms.
Which is a fascinating story, too.
Yeah.
And insane. And you see it, well, we've actually, on a lowest level, we had someone do the same thing with our show, attempting to scam people out of, you know, and they were really good at it, too. They were coming up with graphics that were better than ours. I'm like, son of a bitch, you need to hire this guy.
This guy's good.
They're smart. They're smart.
I was pointing out the Rico, like, you could do better. But
damn, son.
Yeah, so you had basically a guy steal your entire content and identity, and then it was such a good you know, pull of this that they verified his account and banned yours.
Correct. Yeah. So I was basically posting my videos on TikTok exclusively because that's where my money was coming from. I'm like, I'm not going to post this for free on a different platform. So somebody overseas started reposting my TikToks to Facebook Reels. And I guess Facebook Reels for a time you could monetize pretty well. Maybe you still can. Facebook's kind of the
They do that to bait you in.
Yeah.
And then they take it away.
Yeah, that's the one I'm least active on. So I was able to if you follow me anywhere now, it's official. But yeah, back you know, a year ago, I had that kid, he started reposting it, poses me, get verified, shut down my official Instagram. And
then also antagonize you.
Yeah, he
right?
DM'd me like, "Hey, look how much I made off your videos this month." Because he wanted me to sign over 50% of the rights of my videos, so that he could have the legitimacy but still make money.
Full on overseas extortion, right?
Yeah,
there.
I'm like, no way,
Good
you're
God.
extorting me. I'm not signing anything. This is my content. I don't care if you take all my money. Like, I'll get you eventually. So yeah, I had to hire a copyright attorney and get that sorted. But I had to do that once I heard about TikTok, because I was like, if TikTok gets removed and I don't have that anymore, and then there's a fake profile of me on Facebook and Instagram, who they could just have their way with my content. They could, you know, they could set up GoFundMes, they could scam all my audience, because I'll no longer have a platform to even make a rebuttal. So yeah, we got that taken care of, shut his platforms down, but it was a long process.
Yeah, how long was the process? If you're guessing,
It took
like over
the
6
lawyer
months.
couple, yeah, I think 3 months minimum.
Once you found the lawyer.
Yeah.
But then you had to find the lawyer, because this is something that, again, you're like a short order cook and a chef in New Jersey. You just started doing some videos, and now you're like, I got to look up entertainment lawyers and copyright infringement. And this is all. Did you go to, I know that you were homeschooled. Did you go to any college, anything after that?
I went to college briefly. I did a semester in like Western Pennsylvania. I went out to a 4-year college there. I think I made it like a semester and a half, but yeah, I didn't transition that well. You know, part of the downside of the homeschool thing, and I was very shy and introverted and just not really socially.
And this is before you started tattooing your face.
Yeah, way before. But yeah, I had problems with anxiety and depression, and just, I guess early years of dealing with like being bipolar. So it just, I couldn't really cut it on the social aspect. And even though I did well academically, so Went back home, took the rest of the semester off, and then I tried a little bit at Rutgers, but I was like, nah, college isn't for me. I'll find something else to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know that you're not seeing eye to eye with your family right now, but, kudos to them because the homeschooling turned out like you're no dummy, and you show that off, just in your videos and the way that you communicate. Very clear. Now, also with TikTok being like banned, CapCut looked like it was banned or going to be banned. Do you use that to edit so there was 3 days where you're just like, son of a bitch, I'm paying for this. I can't even edit my videos, man. Did you have a backup plan?
Well, I don't pay for CapCut. CapCut's a free one. They just started rolling in a bunch of ads on it. But
I'm the idiot that pays for CapCut then. I mean, you can pay for CapCut.
You can. You'll skip all the ads now. But
you don't need it to, make tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, for the longest time, I used to edit in-app on TikTok. And then because it's the same company that owns CapCut, they kind of took away all TikTok's good editing features and made you switch to CapCut. Right?
Yes.
I was like, all right, whatever. But now that I'm using it, I'm like, oh, I like this. So, yeah, there was a 3-day period I had to edit on a different
Well, there was
software.
a weak learning curve, too, of how many companies China owns. I was like, what? That too?
Well, I mean, there was companies that were taken off platforms that didn't realize they were owned by Chinese companies, like Marvel. Oh shit, my bad.
Oops.
Yeah, we thought this was going to affect us at all, but it turns out the people who are signing their check are signing it in Mandarin. So that was something again that just like, where do you think it's going to happen now? Because we're at a point where it has this executive order like cushion time before they figure out exactly how they can get their grubby little hands on it and in it to reap all the benefits of it and then keep it a service provided. Do you think it's going to continue or we're just going to be naturally evolving to a different platform?
I honestly have no idea. I mean, just the nature of the internet, there's going to be a new platform down the road that ends up taking the spot of TikTok or whoever the main player is right now. And but will it stick around? I think TikTok will stick around in one form or another. And even if it doesn't, there'll be something new. I remember there was one app that took, the whole TikTok live streaming side of things. Everybody was going over to this new app. It was basically just a clone version of TikTok Live. It took off for like that 24 hours. Favorited, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
So for 24 hours, it was this enormous app, and then as soon as TikTok came back, everybody just went to TikTok. So it's like something will take its spot if it does get.
They're
banned.
waiting in the wings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are tons of software developers with an app ready to launch as soon as TikTok goes down, but we'll just see what happens.
Right. It's Rockwell 2.1 KFMA. That's Sean Gatz here, live in studio, owner of Gatz Deli at Tanca Verde Swap Meet, and they're open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thursday for lunch. Friday for lunch and dinner with a little gap in between, and Saturday and Sunday, Tanca Verde Swap Meet is a party. And Sean is out there making all you boyfriends look bad by, going up and beyond for Valentine's Day. He decided to gift his girlfriend a coffee table, but a lot of people would just like go to the Sam Levitt's bankruptcy deal and pick up that. No, he decided to make a concrete coffee table in the house, which is right. He's been documenting on his Instagram right now. The latest video, or on this TikTok, second to latest video has already 4.4 million views.
Doing good. People like that one.
Yeah. So what made you just be like, okay, I'm going to do a concrete coffee table, and it can't be that, much of a pain in the ass or heavy to move ever. What was the initial concept where you're like, I want to do this?
I mean, I love concrete stuff. I just love the look of concrete. So her place is all concrete floors, and I was like, she's got this nasty bright green couch that I hate. I was like, let me put something that I like in this living space. So I wanted to do a concrete coffee table. It took about twice as many bags as I thought, and it was twice as heavy as I thought, but it's keeping up pretty good. So
yeah, I mean, you have jacks and everything just to lift this thing up. You've been sanding it down in your living room, so you bought a tent to put it inside the tent.
Yep.
And then sand it down. How many hours do you think you put in this coffee table so far?
Probably about 12 hours, I think.
Okay.
Building forms, pouring it. Yeah,
was
maybe
the
a little
goal
more? Maybe a little more.
Was the goal to have it done by Valentine's Day?
No.
Okay,
well,
that's
her
good.
birthday. Technically, it's a birthday present. So her birthday's March 5th. So it'll be done.
Oh,
by
good.
then. I'll finish it today. So after I leave here, I got to put the. It's already polished. The video's not up on that yet, but I got to seal it, and that'll be that. Put down our new rug and But yeah, I turned her living room into a stonemason's workshop, I guess. So she loves that. Water all over the floor and dust everywhere. But that's the thing, if your significant other asks you to do a project, you want to get it done, but you want to do it in a way where they're not asking you to do something new right after. So, I don't mind a little bit of a mess.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll keep her from asking me to do something a week from now.
I don't think she even needs to. I mean, you're constantly inspired to do stuff.
That's true.
Right? You're just a stuff doer.
Yeah,
all right. True. So with this, getting this done, then you'll be on to the next project, whatever that may be. And that's beyond doing the small business that you're owning and operating yourself each and every day. What's the one project that you've done and documented that you kind of look back in hindsight and you're kind of most proud about? You're like, oh, I can't believe I actually pulled that off.
All of it, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm shocked every day that I'm still going and like, man, I haven't crashed and burned yet.
What was the first time you poured concrete and done concrete work? Was that when you were younger, working odd jobs, landscaping?
No, I guess the first thing, I did a concrete set of stairs at a family house. The stairs were crumbling, so I put rebar in it, made the forms, poured concrete. I still have yet to really mess around with finishing concrete. I don't know how people get such nice finished trowel looks, but I put like some bluestone pavers onto each tread of that staircase. So it came out really nice. But yeah, so the finishing concrete, I've never tried polishing stone. So every project I do, I try to learn something new in the trades. So now I know how to polish stone more or less.
Yeah.
This new coffee table.
Yeah, so now that you know how to polish stone, are you kind of like in the back of your mind, like, what can I do polishing stone?
Yeah, now I can do my own countertops when the houses are built out on the property, so I'm always learning new things.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, well, you're coming from the East Coast, too, and, you're a chef and own and operate your, restaurant out of the food truck at the Tinker Verde Swap Meets. Have you been going around to various, restaurants in town, and what are some places as a New Jersey kid when you came to Tucson where you're just like, damn, this is good?
I honestly haven't scoped out too much of the food scene here. We've tried a few. Forbes Meat Market, that's a new spot. Who Gaetano you met at the food truck. He's our first one and only employee over there. He keeps us going through the week while I'm making content. He's doing inventory and prepping for
I see that too.
On the weekends.
You could watch Sean work whenever the food truck's open. He'll go on TikTok Live and just live stream the whole time. So Valdez and I made a cameo there, ordering our sandwiches and soliciting. And you're just seeing Sean in between either working and then just talking to the live streamers. And your live streams on TikTok, how many viewers are you getting on those? Just watching you work.
It's always hit or miss. There's really no telling. I mean, maybe I average 500-600 on TikTok, but the other day it shot up to like 7,000 for a few minutes, and then it's just whether the For You page over there wants to push you out or not. And then YouTube, we usually average a few hundred over there. So yeah, it depends, but yeah, we simultaneously stream to both TikTok and YouTube. YouTube has a better camera angle. We've got like a traditional stream setup on YouTube where they can actually see the multicam stream, and like you can see the sandwich building, and you can also see me take orders, whereas TikTok's just on my face. But TikTok's better optimized for that mobile phone streaming, so it's a little higher resolution.
Yeah, so when you're going, okay, so the art of monetization and social media we'll talk about on the podcast broadcast here with Sean. Again, Sean, Gatz Deli is a foodie location you got to check out. Tinker Verde Swap Meet, they have all different types of food trucks in there. If you haven't been out to the Tinker Verde Swap Meet, sometimes remember that's our culture, that's our vibe, right? It's like a dystopian fair. Let's have everything there, but it is open with free parking for lunch on Thursday and Friday. Of course, the Swap Meet is in full swing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Gatz Deli is open throughout those days. I'm going to answer this phone call on the podcast broadcast stream. Be back with more after music from Cracker on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Let's see who this
better be a concrete polisher.
Yeah, let's see. I know about concrete polishing. Rock 102.1. Who's this?
Yeah. This is Tammy.
Oh, Tammy, what's up?
Oh, nothing. I was just wondering if Eddie Roberto is still out at the swap meet.
He sure is.
Oh, there you go.
I pay him every week.
Yeah. This guy wants to get every percentage of every little stand that he rents out. He gets a percentage each night.
Yeah, that's his business model,
Because I
right?
used to work out at the Blue House.
He's a pimp then.
I used to work out at the Blue House there.
Okay, nice. Awesome,
And
Tammy.
this guy, he has to have like a percentage of each, of however much you spend or however much you earn, he has to have a percentage of it.
I believe it.
And this guy is a
the
snake,
swap
so just
there.
watch your back. I don't know how long you've been out there, but just watch your back, dude.
Yeah, I will. We've been there for 3 months. Thank you. Yeah, I know.
Warning.
I know. There's no spot that's perfect. But yes, Eddie is still there, and but they get paid on time. They make sure that I pay them on time every week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
never
you
late
got to
in
pay them on
payments, but-
time. Believe me, I know that. Because like I said,
Yeah, but I'll
I
say
used to work out at the Blue House.
yeah.
Blue House, you say?
Yeah, it was called the Blue House. It was a Greek restaurant.
Okay, nice. Well,
We had like we had gyros, we had Greek fries, we had everything. We had hamburgers, hot dogs.
And the one time you were late, what happened?
yeah.
What'd he say? What'd he
Did your
say?
kneecaps
Well,
ever grow back?
Well, see, he never had like a control over our register, so we would just say, well, we only made this much this night.
All right, Tammy, I love you, but
So-
I don't want you to inadvertently make Sean's rent go up, so I'm going to have to end this conversation right now, okay? Thank you
Nice
for the heads
talking
up,
to you.
though.
Okay.
Thanks,
All
Tam.
right, Tammy is the best. Sorry, I hung up on her.
It's all good. Nice talking to you, Tammy. Thank you. Yeah, look, it's South Tucson. I mean, they're hustling. They, I know there's a parent company that owns the swap, so they've made some changes that I guess I'm new there, so I just take it as it comes. It's all it works out great for us. We pay our weekly rent.
is a snake. Watch out for that guy.
We pay our weekly rent. We got electric, water included. We got the commissary right there. So it's a much better setup than what we were working with before, where we were towing every day and we had no permanent spot to set up. I mean, I tried it originally out in 3 Points, which was great.
Because people came to you based off of your reach. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason at KJ's, thank you, man. Let us set up there all the time, but it's a smaller community out in 3 Points, and it wasn't growing at the rate I needed it to have a sustaining business. So I was like, all right, let's move it into, the city
town.
of Tucson.
Yeah, and there's a little bar set up in the middle. So do they serve beer on the weekends there?
Yeah, they serve drinks.
Nice.
Yeah. They'll serve you Friday, Saturday nights. They are there Sundays as well, but I think later in the day. So we're really only focused on lunch on Sundays. But
yeah, that's
we
what I
can
went
get you
out
some
to.
drinks.
I mean, it's so easy on Sunday too because you don't have to pay for parking. You just pull right up, and get your stuff. So like, definitely recommend for a Sunday eat spot for sure. So yeah, and that was the first time I've been to Tank Verde Swap Meet. I mean, obviously I have friends and everything. I've been down here for like 8 years, but I remember after ordering, just walking around and being like, I like this vibe, dude. I was just kind of like, old school, like desert
It's
fare.
like Mad Max, where you would end up going if you're hungry. Like, let's go down to Cats.
I go to Rockwood all the time and get all my good bootleg stuff there, but I'm like, I feel like there's a good amount of good bootleg stuff here too. Where
it's like a real street market. Like if you ever go to Mexico, I went there once a long time ago.
What part of Mexico did you go to?
We were building houses. I mean, they wouldn't meet code here in America, but we were building some houses with,
like Habitat for Humanity or something?
Yeah, something like that. I
Of
don't
course.
remember the name. It was
You
through like a church
angel
group.
of a man. Look at you. Looks like the devil,
Shocking,
heart of
right?
an
I know,
angel.
right?
I know.
He's like Jimmy Carter's last words were.
Yeah, it was Ensenada, wherever that was. But yeah, there were some street markets that are very similar to the swap. So I was like, oh man, I didn't know we had these in Tucson.
Yeah, there's a lot of culture in Tucson for sure. So you came to the right place, and just by chance, happenstance, you found cheap land, and so you came from the East Coast, going out here and said, "F it." And then, how did you link up with your girl and fiance? Because were you dating her before you moved to Arizona?
No.
No.
So she DM'd me. She just slid in my DMs.
Yeah, there you
go. Yeah, the summer that I bought the property and was just cranking out content, she DM'd me.
You remember what her opening line was?
I don't remember her opening line.
I'm sure it was something cool.
She just posted the screenshots of her first DMs to her Instagram because people were asking how we met. I think
she's like, "Hey, nice house. Can I see your dick?" That's the DMs I get.
Yeah, we're cool cursing on here.
Yes.
So when I did finally respond to her, I do remember her return line was, "Holy shit, I just shit myself.
Nice.
I love you so much."
And you thought to yourself, I think I have a chance of this one.
Yeah. The same night we ended up FaceTiming like all night through the night. She was in Miami like clubbing or something with her old group of creators that she worked with a lot at the time. And she just left. She left the club and just went back to the Airbnb and FaceTimed me all night.
Nice. Now, were you in Arizona when she first slid in? And she's from Arizona, but she was in Miami. Oh, okay.
So she's from Texas.
Okay.
So she was in Miami at the time, but she was living in Austin, Texas. And she came out to Phoenix for a little like content trip, and I made the drive up there. And she was there for a week. I ended up driving there every single day because I was making daily content on the property. So I drive up there, see her, drive back to the property, get my daily post out, then drive back to Phoenix.
Yeah, see, no rest for the wicked, dude. I mean, honestly, you say that you sleep, but again, this is your lifestyle is, it doesn't seem like it's sleep conducive. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's not, but I fit in.
You make it
times
happen.
of rest.
Yeah.
I know you have to. So she went back to Texas after that, and I think when she left, we were joking. I was like, if you ever come back, I'll just propose to you, because it's like, what am I going to do with a long distance relationship in my 30s? It's like, whatever. So she ended up coming back just to see me, made the drive. We went up to Sedona for a trip. I proposed, like, second time seeing her.
So you were, BSing. It was the second time. Wow.
Proposed to her, and then I found out after that she had a boyfriend, actually, of 7 years, but she broke up with him to get engaged to me.
Oh, wow.
I was like, well, that's a bit of a shock. I didn't know you had a boyfriend, but that's okay. We can roll with it.
And he's right here in Sedona. And you get to meet him right now.
Cool. Yeah, so, wow. She left him in Texas permanently, and then she moved to Arizona.
All my exes.
There it is. Living Texas.
A modern love story.
Hell yeah, dude.
But yeah, we get married in May, so.
So do you have death threats coming your way then? Is guy like, that's one girl?
Briefly. He moved on. Props to that guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't build houses.
When you know, you know. And that's one of those things. So how long you been engaged now?
What's it been? A year and a half.
Yeah, and working together too. So she's back there making sandwiches as well, which is always a good quality in a fiance first wife.
Yeah, I keep her working. That's for sure.
Yeah,
she does very well for herself, but it's
and part of that. She's a content creator too.
Yeah.
Does she help you with like your marketing stuff like that because she has expertise in that? And
she helps in the adult side of things. So we also do that. Nice stream of revenue for us. But
and that worked out to be a good revenue stream because that's hit or miss, But obviously you have the followers and the curiosity.
Mm-hmm, exactly. It's definitely not for everybody, but she has the expertise over there, so she
knows how to make money off that. Again, because you could. It's easy to say, I'll just do this, become a millionaire, but that's not that easy.
No, it's not. I mean, I was doing it on my own years and years prior to meeting her too, but I kept that kind of on the more discreet side of things slightly. I'd advertise it every once in a while, but
right.
I get it. My audience isn't there for that. They're there to see me build stuff.
Exactly.
It's perfectly fine.
Bob Vita. We're back here live on Rock 102.1 KFMA with Sean Gatz, who, we were talking about, again, he is like a modern day entertainer is somebody who delivers entertaining content in short form, period. So some of my favorite shows now are 90-second shows. And that's how a lot of society is, where we're at with our attention span. And that's what makes, Sean such a, one of the biggest stars on the platform, to be honest with you. I know there's a lot of people out there with lots of followers, but we're talking about quality content, consistency, and then it has all the factors there where he grabs your attention just by his look and aesthetics, and then you listen and watch his videos and you realize there's substance there, and you might even learn something along the way, dude. Does it blow your mind that you're like, I taught people today?
I don't really think about it.
Well, you should, dude.
Every once in a while, especially now that we have the food truck where people can see me in person, because long ago I stopped reading DMs. It just became overwhelming.
Smart.
So I don't even look anymore, especially with content too, or comments. I mean, I'm a very polarizing individual for one reason or another. Just my appearance alone or my personality, people love love sending me hate comments, but I get an equal amount of people
of
thanking
love.
me. And
yeah.
So I try not to read into it too much. But now that I get to see people in person, I've had people say some really nice stuff about like the mental health side of things. Really means a lot to me when somebody comes up and says that I've helped them with their mental health or get their life back together. Or I've heard a couple people come out.
Yeah, because you're someone that's lived with and struggled through these issues, and then you've basically found a way to channel that energy into something productive.
Yeah, I mean, a long time ago, I was like, because definitely dealing with being bipolar, I was like, man, if I took, the struggles I've had with that and like my knowledge of like mood swings and stuff and put it kind of into content, I bet I could really suck people into just the absurdity of like what I'm doing.
Yeah,
because it's like I'll play up like the mania, because like I've had bouts of mania in my personal life, not never too seriously, but I'm like, having that experience, like you can do very well on social media just by making outlandish content and just seeming like you're off the walls. But if you can actually hold it together and consistently put out quality content while having that, presentation of just being off the rails, I think I kind of really did a good job at that, being out on the property where people thought I was unhinged and about to like.
You're a prepper. He's just some crazy prepper out in the middle of the desert, being like, "Here's my bunker for the nukes."
Everybody was tuning in to see me just like go up in flames and lose my mind, and then here I am years later, just like kind of
harness it.
Yeah, you're like, okay, Jay, notice my koi pond. That's good. Today's project, we're gonna build a meth lab and be self-sustaining, right?
People were waiting for it, but
never came. Here's a follow-up I want from a video that I saw on your TikTok, and again, that's Sean SEAN_Gatz and Gatz with a Z at the end. You put makeup on your face to cover up your tattoos to meet your fiance's father for the first time. Did that happen, and how did that go?
Yeah, well, I try to maintain very authentic content, but sometimes it.
A little bit. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I had met him before.
Okay, and he saw the tattoos? Okay, so how does that conversation and meeting go?
Her family's lovely. They're all great people. Her mom, I remember, I was listening to her on speakerphone when Lamar first. My fiance's name is Lamar for everybody out there. So she sent her mom a picture of me, and I heard her on speakerphone freaking out. So her mom, it took her a bit, but then her mom ended up enjoying my content so much, she ended up being one of my like top viewers on stream on TikTok Live. So she was very so she started. She loves me now, and then her dad has always been very easy. As long as she's happy, he's happy. So they're. And
it's funny because that's the same takeaway that most of your followers and viewers have. The initial reaction is the shock reaction, this guy's a lunatic, and then as soon as you start listening and watching, be like, oh my god, actually he's more put together than most. And this is fascinating. And again, you're completely well spoken, very driven, motivating. Even when you're not trying to be, I find it very motivating. In fact, I remind myself how lazy I am. If I feel like I put in a strong 6 hours, and then I look and then you got 3 projects and a 12-hour shift inside a food truck, and son of a bitch, I guess I
did
do
the
some
dishes.
push-ups.
I feel accomplished. And I look at his TikTok, I'm like, damn it.
I mean, I did it to myself. I started so many projects, and I've got a world of people watching me. I can't just like quit, because growing up, I had a huge tendency of starting things that I never finished, and even though
it happens, so it's very ADD like.
I'm still the same way. I start a million things, and it's just physically impossible to complete them all. But as long as I'm always working toward completing them, I'm happy with myself. I don't want to start sitting back and relaxing, and
And I'm sure people keep you accountable all the time.
Absolutely.
Too. Yep, that's what it is.
That's one of the best things about social media is it's holding me accountable for things that I speak into existence. And it's like, I'm gonna finish the property. It's like, all right, I might need another $500,000 in cash to finish it all, but I'll get there. Because there's no alternative. Otherwise, I get to be the failure that everybody's watching online, like, oh, he finally failed. I knew he would. So I wake up every morning just like, I'm gonna prove them wrong. I'm gonna complete this.
And you have a lot of people to prove wrong. I was kind of the same way when I started my career, if you want to call it that. I started with the motivation to prove people wrong. And then eventually I had so many people believing in me that my motivation switched, and then I wanted to prove them right. right? And I feel like you're kind of at that aspect as well. You have a lot of people who are supporting you that far dwarfs the haters for sure. And that's a lot of people to prove right, but I think you're doing it. So we'll end it on this note. What's the best thing about your social media career, and what's the worst thing about it?
Definitely the best thing is the doors it's opened. You know, I wouldn't be able to live a lifestyle like this if I didn't start online. So it's like, yeah, it's hard work. It's not all luck. You got to put in the time and the hours to get your content to the point where people actually want to tune in. But yeah, now that I've gotten there, it's an extremely freeing lifestyle, and not only can it better my own life, but I can use that platform to potentially help more and more people down the road. Yeah, you see a lot of content creators doing some real good in the world.
Yeah.
And vice versa, a lot who do nothing for society. But that's part of the thing. But yeah, worst part is mental health aspects, you know.
Yeah,
seeing all that nasty stuff. I mean, people really like saying some god awful stuff about me, and have for a long time. But eventually, you know, I just learned to tune it out, or at least 99% of it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't take it to bed with me, but you know, I still read it every day. You know, the average citizen who's not really on social media is going to go through the day without hearing anything nasty about themselves. Hopefully, at least, unless you have a toxic relationship or something like that, where they're always bashing you. But yeah, every day it's 100% certain that I'm going to read something awful about myself.
Yeah.
So that's the part that's not great. But it's also helped me grow massively, and you know, with mental health and
I was gonna say that probably shaped into being way more stoic.
Yeah,
now. You're just like totally
You get thick skin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, and again, always focus on the positive. Continue to put out positive, and positive things will come back towards you. And I could tell that is the beef tip of Sean Gatz, everybody. It's been a pleasure getting to know you on the podcast broadcast.
Thank you.
We encourage everybody to check out Gatz Deli at the Tanque Verde Swap Meets. You can find ours literally by going gatzdeli.com or following Sean on any of his social media platforms. That's SEAN_Gatz, ended with a Z. And he got open for lunch on Thursday and Friday, and dinner on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yep. You can also just Google us, Gatz Deli, Tucson, Arizona, and you'll find our hours over there. We keep up to date. Just make sure you're using Google and not. I think Yelp has our hours all messed up, so not Apple Maps is not accurate. But
yeah, and check the live stream as well.
Go for the Googles.
Yeah, absolutely. And then while you're there, get yourself a Taylor ham and egg sandwich and tell them Beef sent you. All right. So
yes, please
that's all
do.
the time we have for the show today. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, drive safe, ride safe, and rock local. Later.
When you wish upon a side of beef,
thank you guys.
Soon will come
good times.
all your grief. But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will not